Hi, it's Paula from Pola Quilting. Welcome back to my channel. I've been working on some project using solids, and I did have a lot of scraps from those projects, and I've been working putting those scraps on the adding tape. I do have a tutorial about how I do my adding tapes, and I will link it in the description below. So there's a certain obviously length of the strip you need to have to cover that paper. This paper is about 3 inches, slightly over 3 inches. So I've used up all of those longer bits. Some are from another project where I was using scraps, but I've been left with all of those shorter ones, which obviously I could still use on the wider tapes by maybe sewing a few bits together until it's, you know, wide enough. But then that's additional step in the process. So I thought maybe there's something else we could do with those shorter pieces without that extra step. So I have decided to try to do some braiding on the paper. So I've got the same 3-inch roll of paper. You can, you know, cut your own strips from a newspaper or whatever the other paper you've got lying around, and obviously you can adjust the width of that strip to whatever you want. I'm folding it into half just to have that half mark, something what will help me later to keep that middle in the place. So what I need for start is a small either rectangle, square, or even triangle would do. I've got square here, so that's what I will use, and I will just stitch it here to hold it in place. So once I've got that first bit stitched in place, it's just literally so it doesn't move. You could use some glue stick as well. I will try and find bits to go on the side, and I just want to align those top edges here, stitch, open, and go to the other side. They are not the same width, because that's what happens with the scraps. You may have a different width, so there might be somewhere situation where we need to work out a little bit how to move the center back to the center. But let's have a look at the sewing machine. Okay, so I've got my green starting point, and actually I will go with the red color here, which will look nicely. So like I said, I just want to align those lines here, and I will stitch. Now, stitching direction you can go from both sides. I actually like to use a clip here as well to hold that paper rolled a little bit, because when the roll is too long it's just, you know, messing up the space I want to work on. So I usually use the clip to hold it in place, and then I also, whilst I've got quite a lot of stitch on the other side, I will use another clip to roll it as well. So you can either stitch from here down, or you can go from top down. It doesn't matter as far as you stop, just on the dot or just a little bit after where you want to be. I'm using 1/4 inch allowance here, but you know, it's again, you don't have to just straight stitch. And you just open it up, and I will add strip, just finger pressing here, and I will add the strip to the other side. Let's just get some color that will go with those two. This blue looks nice, and again I will just stitch here. Open it up. So because those two strips were more or less the same width, I'm still more or less on that middle line, so I will just carry on. Let's take this pink one. And then I will take another one on the other side. Let's take maybe yellow. Let's go. Okay, and here my middle kind of still in good position because those two were in the kind of the same width. Now if your middle shifted somewhere to the side, the only thing you need to do is either have on one side thicker kind of width and then smaller on the other side, will even itself out, or just put two smaller strips on one side to even it out. Once you stitch it all together, it really will not matter. So I will just carry on now until I feel, you know, use up all of those scraps I've got here, and then I will show you how it looks when it's a little bit bigger. Before I show you my finished project, just a quick reminder where you can find me and how you can support my work. You can subscribe to my website to be notified when new tutorials, products or patterns are released. You can find me on my Facebook page, Pola Photo, or you can join my group page, Pola Quilting with Friends, where we all share work made inspired by my tutorials and answer any questions you may have. There is Instagram account called Pola Quilting, and if you like to share something you made based on my tutorials, please tag me using hashtag Pola Quilting with Friends. To support my work, please like, comment and share when you see my posts or tutorials. Let your quilting friends know about this channel and invite them to the group and subscribe to my channel. If you like to contribute extra, you can use super thanks on YouTube or buying me virtual tea, coffee or lunch available on my page. All links are in the description below. I would like to thank you all for all the support so far and letting me grow in what I do. Here are my finished braids. As you can see, they look really effective. Just to show you something I was talking about, if your kind of middle goes to the side too much, I've added 3 smaller strips here, or 4 even, to kind of move it back to the direction or the middle where I want it to be, and then I started braiding again. So you can change where that point is coming out on your strip when it goes every somewhere. Also I had some thicker pieces here and they kind of made that my braid a little bit flat. So to kind of work on that, as you can see, this is quite flat. I started stitching a little bit on diagonal there. So though my strip was like here, you can see here it's finishing here. When I was stitching, I was making sure I go narrow to down point to kind of make that stitch more pointy again and back to the shape I liked more. So normally I trim my strips when I'm actually ready to use it, not before. That prevents the edges to kind of not unravel. I did iron them already with a little bit of starch, so they are nice and sturdy, but I will not take them out of the paper, or I will not trim them until I'm ready to use it. But if I just put on the side of it a little bit of fabric to show you how they can look in the combination of something. Obviously I've used the plain fabric. You can use whatever you like and how, you know, whatever strips you've got, and in any combination, plain with colors or just plain, whatever you've got, it will look awesome in any of those combinations. It will make really nice maybe middle of a block, in any block where you would normally use maybe strips or straight pieced papers. You can use that braid. Obviously it will make lovely border, it will make a nice middle of the cushion cover, it will make nice panel for the front of the pouch. Honestly, a bag, whatever you think of, you could use those strips with scraps sewn on kind of the braided. Also, if you put one braid going one direction, a second braid going other direction, that gives you another nice effect as well. Kind of chevron pattern in maybe on some smaller project. I'm not sure if I would like to make the whole quilt out of it. That's gonna be a lot of sewing. But for smaller project, or maybe just make a block like that and then put it somewhere in the middle of the other blocks. That will work too. If you decide to make whole quilt, please tag me either on Instagram, on Facebook, because I would really like to see it. Like I said, a lot of sewing, but actually this type of sewing is something I normally do as a warm-up before my main project, or just to tidy up some boxes with the scraps. So I had a lot of, like I said before, scraps with the plain fabric, so I decided kind of use them up in one go. So I've got now quite a lot of those braids, and I also got straight tape pieces, so that already gave me ideas for a few more blocks and tutorials, so watch the space. I hope you enjoyed this quick tutorial, and I hope to see some of your work with the braided papers either on Instagram or on our Facebook group page. Thank you for joining, thank you for watching, and see you next time.